Okay, well, good morning, 8th and ninth grade combined class. This is chapter 9 review. I hope you are enjoying your Monday morning so far. So we're just going to do some review today. So I'm just going to re-show you how to do some problems. So some of these that are very important for us to do, we're going to do some of these and see how well we can do. So if we have something that looks like this, right? If we have 4xy times 3x plus 4y plus 2. Do you guys remember how we do this? Well, I hope so, but the first thing we got to do is distribute this term to that term. Now, I take the coefficients, which is the number, and multiply those. 12 is what I get when I do 4 times 3. Then I do the x's times each other, and what do I get? X times x is x squared. And I do a y is not over here, so he just stays. Okay, that's very important. If you didn't understand that part, you need to go back and rewatch that again. Okay, the y stays because there's no y here. Now I take this guy and go to the 4y. I do 4 times 4, which is 16. I do x times, there's no x over here, so it just stays. And then I do y times y. What's y times y? Y squared. Then last I do 4xy times the 2. So I do 2 times the 4 over here, and I get plus 8. The xy stays because there's no xy here. And that is my final answer. Okay, we really struggled with this on the homework in the last few days, and so I really want to emphasize it. That's all we have to do when we're multiplying with something like that. Okay, now the next thing I want to work on here is our FOIL method. Okay, some of you really struggled with our FOIL method for homework. So they give us this problem, x plus 4 times x minus 6. Okay, I'm going to go through it slowly because I really need you to understand this. And you're going to have to do this for 3 more years of math, okay? So just bear with me. It's part of life, okay? We do the first, so we do this guy times this guy. X times x is x squared. Then I do this guy times the negative 6, and I get negative 6x. Then I do the 4 times the x, and I get plus 4x. And I do the 4 times the negative 6, and I get negative 24. Okay, if you didn't understand that, please go back, watch it again. Now, I got to combine these terms. And some of you are missing this sign right here, this negative sign and this positive sign. So when we go to combine those, we get x squared stays and stays. So this minus 24 is going to stay. But these guys get combined. Negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2x. Okay, if you have a FOIL method, most of them are going to look like this with 3 terms, okay? If you don't have something that's squared, it means that you probably didn't do something right. Okay, if you don't have something squared in your answer in the FOIL method, you probably didn't do it right. There's going to be very few that don't have something squared. Okay, just to give you a heads up on that. So I'm going to do another one. If you need to rewatch that, go ahead. I'm going to do another one that's maybe a little more challenging. Something like this is really tripping us up. 2x minus, 2x minus 1 times 3x plus 2. Okay, something like this is really tripping us up. So we just do the same exact thing. We do 2x times 3x. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. Okay, if you didn't understand that step, we have 2 x's, so now we have x squared. Now we do 2x times the 2, and that 2 times 2 is 4, and the x stays the same. Now we do negative 1 here times the 3x, which is negative 3x. We do negative 1 times the 2, and we get negative 2. Now again, we have like terms right here that need to be combined. So let's write our final answer. 6x squared. It doesn't say this, it doesn't change. Then 4 minus 3 is plus x minus 2. This guy stays unchanged. There's our final answer. 6x squared plus x minus 2. Okay, I hope that makes sense. This is all review, but we have a lot of people confusing these on the homework. Okay, now here's one that's also very important for us to remember how to remember how we do it. Let's say we have something like this, x minus 2y, and that thing's squared. Okay, I'm going to use the FOIL method and just write this twice, right? I'm going to go x minus 2y times x minus 2y. Now, I'm going to take my distributive property, x times x is down here as x squared. x times negative 2y is negative 2xy. Negative 2y times x is negative 2xy. You see how these are the same. That's a good sign. It means we did something right. Negative 2y times negative 2y, look at this, becomes plus, negative times a negative becomes a plus, 4y squared. Now, when I go to write the answer, I just combine these like terms. Now, this is where I have a lot of you just canceling them out. Okay, you just do this. Okay, we can't do that because it's a negative and a negative. And when you have a negative and negative, you add them together. And you get x squared minus 4xy plus 4y squared as our final answer. Okay, some of you really need to watch that step in the middle. If we have a negative and a negative, they don't cancel out. We still have this middle term right here in our final answer. Okay, and now maybe the part that we have struggled with the most in our homework is the dividing. Okay, so this is going to be one of your homework problems. This is number 35, okay? So if you want to pay attention, I'm on page 400. This is number 35 that you're going to do for homework. It looks like this. 225x squared minus 35x divided by 5x. Okay, the first thing we have to do in a problem like this is I would just do them all this way. All you need to do is set them up with long division. You take the 5x, put it on the outside of the parentheses, and put the 25x squared minus 35x on the inside. Now all you need to say is how many times can 5x go into 25x squared? Well, that would be exactly 5x times. So now I do 5x right here times the 5x, and I get 25x squared. And guess what? That's 0. And it has to be 0, or else I did something wrong. Then I say how many times now can 5x go into this negative 35? So now I'm looking at this 5x right here into this negative 35x down here. Well, that would be negative 7 times. So therefore, then I can check it by doing 7 times 5x, and what do I get? Or negative 7 times that, I get negative 35x on top and negative 35x on the bottom, which is what I wanted because that equals 0. Those cancel out, meaning my final answer is 5x minus 7. If you need to rewatch that, you can do it that way. Or, if you want to do it another way, when there's only one term on the bottom, look at this. This is a cool thing. We're going to do the same problem. 25x squared minus 35x divided by 5x. When it's only by 1 in the bottom, look what we can do. We can rewrite this as 25x squared divided by 5x, and that minus, okay, that's the sign right here, became minus right there, minus 35x divided by 5x. That's the same thing. This right here equals this right here. It's the same exact thing. Now, when I take this 25x squared divided by 5x, I subtract exponents, and there was 1, 2 minus 1 is, I'm going to have 1x left over, 5 and 25, 25 divided by 5 is 5. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this over here, 35x divided by 5x. The x's this time are going to cancel out because they have the same exponent, and you see this 35 divided by 5 is negative 7, right here with our negative sign. And so, do you see it's the exact same answer I got doing it the other way? So you can do it either way. Feel free to use it. Do whatever makes more sense to you. Okay, now lastly, this is the long division, and this is what we struggled with the most. So again, this is going to be one of your homework problems. This is number 40 on page 400. X minus 1, and that is going into x squared plus x plus 1. So what I do first is I say, how many times can this x go into this x squared? Well, that answer is just 1x times. So I do x. Now this time I have to do x times the first one, and I get negative x. Then I do x times this, and I get x squared. Now when I subtract these, you see this negative, they're going to cancel out, but a negative negative turns into a positive. And I get 2x plus 1. The plus 1 carries down. X plus x is 2x. Carry down the 1. Now I say, how many times can this, let me do it in green, can this x go into this 2x? Well, that's just 2 times. So that's plus 2. So now I distribute and take this 2 times the negative 1, which is negative 2. Then this 2 times the x, and I get 2x. Now I'm going to subtract, and I have to look at this. The subtraction causes this to go away, but it changes this to a plus sign, and I get 1 plus 2, which is 3. Now that's my remainder. R equals 3. The remainder equals 3. And the way I write this is I write it as 3, so it's plus 3 over x minus 1. So my final answer, written down here in this corner, if you're following along, is x plus 2 plus 3 over x minus 1. Whatever's left in the remainder, I just put under this guy right here for a grand total answer of that right there. Okay, if you have any questions, please email me. Okay, please watch other YouTube videos on this. I've explained it multiple times. If you're confused, please reach out. Please keep watching the videos, pause it, do whatever you need to do, because we are going to try and take a test this week. So with that, enjoy your Monday. Here's the homework that we want to do from this. This is on page 400. This is review. Okay, we are going to do numbers 13 through 16 all, and then we are going to do numbers 31 through 42 all. And I've already done some of those for you. So there's your homework for tomorrow. Okay, due tomorrow. And if you understand this, you're going to be in great shape for the test. Okay, Mr. H, over and out.